Well, 'tis the season for winter weather, or at least the chance for winter weather here in central Alabama. When we go to forecasting the winter precipitation, we don't just talk about snow. There's multiple different kinds we can see, and it really all is determined by the temperature layers in the atmosphere. So let's go through a couple of those different types and what to expect when we talk about them. First off, when we deal with snow, of course, personally, I think that's the best kind of winter weather. That is when the entire atmospheric column is below the freezing mark. So it starts off frozen as snowflakes and it falls all the way to the ground, gradually accumulating on the ground if the ground well is at freezing or below. So that's the first kind. Then things get a bit trickier as we see some warmer levels of air in the atmosphere. If there's a thin level of warm air or above freezing in the atmosphere between that cloud and the ground, well, that's when it can melt. And then if there's a freezing mark closer to ground level, it can actually refreeze before it hits the surface level. And that's what we like to call sleet. You can see sleet as it's bouncing off the ground because it's basically little icicles that are hitting the ground and can create ice on the roadways or on pretty much any surface. And it's pretty similar to freezing rain as well. We're going to see that thicker layer of warm air above freezing air in the atmosphere between the clouds and the ground level. But when the ground is at the freezing mark, the rain quickly freezes to any surface that it sticks to, and this is what can be extremely dangerous. So if you ever hear freezing rain, just know that that's likely going to impact your commutes or really any surfaces that that freezing rain touches. And then, of course, lastly, it's just good old rainfall, and that's when the entire column of air from the cloud down to the ground is just above the freezing mark. So when you hear us talking about these different kinds of winter weather, or if you hear us say a wintry mix, that could be multiple of these all put together, and it all has to do with what's going on in the upper atmosphere.